Hello. I think we're live. How's it going? Zero people here, is it? Wonderful. Um, I'm just started a little early, like a minute early. Three people. Hello to the three people. How's it going? I didn't really do what I was supposed to do. I've got a bit of like work, like sort of in a sense, and I just haven't been doing it on the schedule where I thought like, oh, let me get it ahead on it. And now I'm not ahead on it because I didn't do it. So I was working on that right before the stream. Um, so kind of boring update for me. But I did write today already. I was writing Sunless Ground, which is fun. Wasn't It's not that serious. It's the thing about Sunless Ground is like it's my unserious project. So like the writing isn't like particularly like it's not supposed to be like, impressive literary fiction because it's not. Like and that's fine. That's not the point. It would drive me nuts if that's how the writing was. At points there are its moments. But back when I was writing Seventh Virtue, the writing would have more literary moments because um I didn't like I wasn't writing literary fiction at the time. Like I only started writing literary fiction consistently again like a year ago. So before then I wasn't really doing it as much. Anyways, so um I'm missing a lot of like I don't have the same kind of prose energy, which is fine. It's just different. But anyways, sometimes I get tired is what I'm saying when I'm writing it because it's like I don't know, it requires a different energy in the writing, especially with like there's a lot of like character interactions, a lot of dialogue, and I'm just like I'm not as great at those things because in literary fiction, none of my characters talk to each other. So, um, anyways, I was just talking. I see more people are here. I was just talking about Sunless Ground, which is the book I'm writing right now. Now that it's 4:01 and people are rolling in, I see people are saying hello. Hi, Celia. I think yeah, you said this a while ago. That was first. Thank you. Hi Sammy. Hi Jade. Hello Stein. Hello. I don't want to mess up your name. Let me just see. Zvicombarero. Did I say it right? I hope so. Correct me though. Hi Reese. Hi Caitlin. Hi Rylan. Hi, Tiara. I feel bad. I always ask every single time if it's Tiara or Tiara. I'm so sorry. I'm just correct me. I'm sorry. Hello. Hi, Stories by Desiree. Hi, Pia. Hello. Um, I'm excited to stream. I've been looking forward to this all week. I'm doing one a little bit later because I know a lot of people watching me the age group that we have that watches me the most is like 18 to 24, and it dawned on me that like I'm coming to the end of that age group soon. Like not soon, I mean soon, it is pretty soon. So I was like, oh, but that was just a realization. But anyway, so that's my demographic of people. So a lot of people work. So I've been trying to do some later ones, at least for East Coast time. um it's pronounced Tierra. Okay. Okay. I will try my best to remember. Thank you for correcting me. Anyways, what are you guys up to? Let me pull up my book. I don't like I okay, I guess I could write this. I don't know. I think it's fine. Like I sound very unenthused with Sunless Ground, but actually I do like it. It's just I don't know. It's I think I'm like at a point where it's strange because, like, I'm right before a part that I'm, like, really looking forward to write. Like, and sometimes I get, like, bored right before there's something that I really wanna write. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, and sometimes I get bored writing the thing that I really wanted to write. I don't know. Anyways, um, let me see. I just hit 90K, I think, in the document. I haven't been tracking word counts. I think I talked about that in, like, a couple videos or streams or whatever, but I deleted the word count feature on Word, like, so I don't see it for anything anymore, which is great. Honestly, just because what I noticed is, like, during a session, I would just, like, constantly be checking, like, how much did I write? How much did I And it's not that that was bad, it was just, like, I don't know, it just wasn't good either, so, usually I'm quite neutral on, like, word count, I actually even find them kind of helpful for me, but I just turned off the feature, and it's been nice because I check the word count, like, at the end of a writing session, I don't just constantly check it anymore because it's not so, like, easily, like, accessible anymore, so anyways, I did hit 90K, which is nice. Hello. Hi, thank you for coming. 20 people here. Yay. Caitlin says, I'm trying to come up with ideas for short story assignments. Ooh, short story assignments. You would think that like I would have advice, but like I have nothing because I think I mentioned this last stream. I got so anxious like writing for school that a lot of the time I would just write from like stuff I already had, which I got permission to do. Like always ask before you do that. But I think I only wrote maybe 1 or 2 stories fresh for my whole degree. I think it was 2. Yeah, otherwise it was stuff that I had prepared, like, before the workshop for the workshop or whatever, but I wrote in advance. Thank you. I think my hair looks nice too. It's grown quite a bit since I cut it. I like it. I think I'll keep it, like, at this length. I think I found the style. I think it looks nice. The best it's ever looked. I thought it was short before, but then I, like, go back and I look at the other pictures and I was like, "No, it wasn't. It really was quite long." Why is my word okay, all the documents are not going away. Okay, there we go. Um Alyssa says, I'm doing anything but writing my story, even though I want to. That is so real. I was supposed to write like much earlier today so that I could start doing work much earlier today, and then I didn't. So I'm just anxious. Okay. I've been anxious. And so I've been procrastinating. When I get anxious, I procrastinate. But Rylan says I'm at 48K right now and about 50K, nearly 50K. Nice. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I love hitting I think what is, like, kind of like I think the time in a book for me when I get, like, really into it, it's in between, like, the 40 to, like, 60, I think. I love that. It's like a sweet spot. At least I mean, the books I've been writing have been quite long, so that's always kinda, like, right when we're, like, getting into, like, the middle of the action a little bit, like, maybe the midpoint. Um, so that's fun. Um, Sammy says reviving a book idea I tried to do a couple times have failed. Ooh, cool. Well, I hope it works out. That's awesome. If you're just joining, we're just talking about what we're like kind of working on. Caitlin says it's for a meta fiction, or creative vigilance class. All about being creative. Oh wow, I totally get not feeling very creative. Yeah, I feel that. Listen, sometimes it's just in the context of school, like, it's totally fine. Like, sometimes it's just being in school is hard to, like I remember struggling so hard. I had to, like, pitch a TV show, like, for one of my classes. I took a couple TV classes in school, and you had to pitch your own TV show at one point, and I struggled through it, even though I was, like we could adapt it off of, like, our own writing. So I was adapting Seventh Virtue into a TV show, which, by the way, was just, like, stupid. Like, I did a bad job adapting. but, um, but anyways, I found it was so hard. Even though I already had like a lot of the material, I already had the characters. Like even then, it was so hard to do it because I knew I was doing it for school. So you're not alone. um. Oh, I saw you post about this. Okay, you listened to Fruits by Paris Paloma. I hope I'm saying that right. I think so. So I opened Hayes Dog's document. Oh, yay! Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's inspiring. That's fun. I love when music does that. When music does that, it feels like everything is right in the world. Tierra says, I wanted my analog horror series completely written by the 20th of February. Instead, I've been writing Baldur's Gate fan fiction. Right now, it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, I love I've never like ever in my life written fan fiction, so I just find it really cool when other people can write fan fiction. And I've been thinking about doing some adjacent, not really, but like sort of adjacently. Um, so that's kind of cool. I'm kind of jealous. That's awesome. Okay, we're at a similar word count. I'm at 93K, hoping to finish my work in progress this month under 110. Ooh, so you're almost there. You're almost done. Ooh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. Well, good luck. Man, it's crazy that it's March. It feels like I never left March, but also like it's been a long time at the same time. But March of last year was like such like an impactful time for me. So it's like it's weird. I feel like I have this sort of like, I don't know, cognitive dissonance with this month. It's strange. Um Ooh, okay. Finished chapter 14 this morning. I plan to at least start chapter 15. Okay, this dream. Okay, we'll do some writing. I really need to, I don't know, I need to hype myself up. It's not like it's boring. I'm writing a party, but a party. The thing is like nobody's there. So like how much of a party is it really? Like um Reeve just got engaged. Love her. Slay. Okay, this has been so fun for me. Okay, it's been really fun because, um, I mean, this was not ever like her and Darren were not supposed to be like like actually like canon. Like they never ever like in the original books ever got together, but like it was like in my head, so it's very exciting to me to plan all of these things. And like I mentioned in a couple of the streams, I just love like say yes to the dress. So it's been, it's been a lot of fun like being a wedding planner behind the scenes. Um, anyways, the problem is that, like, nobody is there, like, nobody's there, like, they have, um, a couple people so the setting right now, we're, like, actually kinda, like, in a mansion, which is kinda fun, so, a nice venue, it's pretty, it's a cool kinda setup for the scene, but, like, the only characters there are, like, Reeve is there, Darren is there, Lonan is there, actually, surprisingly, so he's, like, the only other character. Foster is there, and then Anna is there, and then Beverly is there. Those two characters I don't talk about so much. But like they're not really guests. So it's like it's a party, but like there's no one there. My kind of party, I don't know. Like if I threw a party, it would be like that. It's just mostly because like there's no one to invite, and like also like it's kind of impromptu. Anyway, you think I would be excited to write the party scene? What I'm saying is I'm not. Like I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like gonna like rush through it. um I've just not been feeling excited. I don't know. I don't know how to make myself excited about this. Catching up. Jade says I need to do revisions, 2.5 months to rewrite, and weird weather phenomena to research. Ooh, okay. We love weird weather phenomena. Like I think in the backdrop of stories is quite interesting. I was just thinking about that because I was writing a whole thing about lost gods. And I was thinking about weather and like I don't know how it can backdrop stories. Anyways, cool. Um, yeah, fan fiction. I don't know. It's not really fan fiction. And like I don't think I could write it because like I don't know a lot, but like I want to try. I don't know. We'll see. It would just be like another kind of like AU. And I'm like, don't I have enough? Don't I have enough? Like, do we not have enough Harrisons? Like, I guess not. I want more. Unfortunately. Um Tiara says I've written fan fiction since like my high school musical days. Wow, okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, I have not ever. I don't know why. Maybe it's like I don't know why I've never written fan fiction. I wish. I wish. Um, because even when I was younger, like I would do daydreams, but I would never like my sister would tell me she'd like do daydreams of like kind of like fanfic daydreams, and I've never done. I just like I don't know how I don't connect very like easily to characters, maybe like deeply. That's why not even my own characters. It's only that like I can barely write with a lot of characters. So maybe that's why. I can barely write with my own characters. um Ooh, okay. Stories by Desiree says, I was just gonna edit videos today. Wasn't feeling in the mood to write, but the fact you're having this sprint chatting, plus seeing the chat share their work in progress is helping motivate me. Yay! Okay, cool. Videos. That's awesome. I haven't edited a video in a long time. I'm sorry, guys. I've been a bit busy and stressed because I am like doing job applications and I just get very anxious. Anyways, so I haven't been doing YouTube, which is kind of sucks because I miss it. But um the hard thing about wanting to write is sitting down and actually starting to write. Yeah, I that's been me all day. I was really supposed to start at like 12 and then like just have an hour and then be done. And then I started at like 2. And this stream was at 4. So I didn't really I got a bit done. I think I wrote like 700 words. It kind of felt like writing literary fiction though. You know how there's that thing where like a day of writing literary fiction is like you write 400 words and it took you like 6 hours. That's how it felt today. Like but it was genre fiction. um That's so funny. A Zanessa story got me through life at like 9 years old. That is so cute. I've not read fan fiction either. I don't know why. Ugh, I'm boring. Okay. Um, ooh, okay. I love that we're having this whole conversation about fanfic. My first big writing project was a fan fiction for a video game I really like. I got to 43 chapters. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. Um, I feel like maybe because like I don't feel like I understand or like know things that well. Like even Hannibal, something that I've watched a million times, I would really struggle to like write fan fiction. I don't know. I don't know why. Sammy says, I'm kind of hoping to get my new book idea that's more self-indulged about queer identity. Ooh, okay, but using my character Sam. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's always fun. It's always nice to develop like a new book idea. I really want to do that with I was talking about it the last stream about um doing one potentially for Mothwork, like kind of rewriting it. Anyways, I haven't actually done anything. It's been a week and I still haven't sat on it. Sometimes like I need like the it to sit in my head for a long time. Anyways, um Pia says re fanfic. For me, it's a lot about wanting to write within the world for a while. That's why I write a lot of things like his okay, a lot for things like his dark materials. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I've never tried. It does seem quite fun because there are worlds that are interesting to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. Mostly I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to write. But I have a vague I don't want to say anything because it's a very vague and I don't think that I don't even know if I could do it. I would need to do research and I'm just like I don't feel smart when it comes to writing. Like I don't do very good research. Like I've been wanting to do research for Lost Gods. Like I want to do like more art history research and art history is something like I know like vaguely like some information about. I don't have like the best art education. I took like a couple art classes in high school, but that was a long time ago. I took 3 in university. 2 were drawing focused with like barely any art history. Like there was nothing in there. And then there was one that was like pretty much an art history course. So I know a little. I don't know a lot. So I want to do kind of my own research. I might go to the library and kind of see just for one day for fun and see what they have. Because Harrison's an artist, which feels so strange. I've always said that. It feels so strange and out of character for him. But I'm leaning into it in Lost Gods. Lost Gods is like the it's like the art book. So I kind of want to talk more about art and reference art and like kind of steep art into the symbolism, but I just don't know a lot about it. I don't know. So um I'm trying to write this one fanfic idea, says Stein, but I'm so scared that the characters won't feel the same as canon. Yeah, I think that's like I don't know if I could do it. But I'm really tempted to. I'm really tempted to with a particular thing. I've never felt this tempted to write fanfic in my life. But I would have probably even just, I don't know. I might just like AUify my book, maybe. Because I want to see my characters in the worlds too. I think it'd be fun. Um, ooh, okay, gonna be brave and start posting fanfics this year. Yay! Okay, that's cool. I remember one of my friends when I was in like a writing club. I can't remember. I feel terrible. I can't remember what fandom it was for, but I was reading some of her fanfic. It was so good. So good. It's really fun. Like even though I don't write it myself, I really respect it and I wish I could write it. I don't know. I should try. But you know me. It'll take a while to get there. Oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. Yeah. Hang out with friends through fandom roleplay. That's cool. Yeah, with the Hunger Games. Ooh, don't tempt me. I feel like the Hunger Games is one where I know, okay, well, maybe I don't know the world well enough, like right now, because it's been a while. But I believe strongly in 11-year-old me who's still inside of me, like still a part of me. Like, I think that I could do it. I think I could create something and like be accurate about it. Cause the Hunger Games is such a big part of my life. That one's tempting. Should we throw Harrison into like a Hunger Games like AU? That would be fun. Uh, being afraid, Pia says, to get canon characters wrong is the reason I write for niche characters that only have like 3 fics. Oh yeah, I think I would be so afraid of that too, and like sharing it like in like so I don't blame people for like not sharing their fanfic or whatever. I think that would be kind of intimidating. Um Oh, okay. Well, Alyssa says Twilight fan fiction was how I got my start. Oh, that's awesome. No, I know a lot of writers start writing fan fiction, and I think that's so cool. Um, yeah, I don't know what I think in a sense, like I've always written with original characters, but my writing has always been like, at least in the beginning, was like deeply, deeply inspired to like even just like start like sort of take off from like somebody else's work. So I feel like there's sort of an element there too. Um, but I remember Fostered was so inspired by all like the literature at the time. Like it literally like any YA dystopian in 2014. Like I wanted to kind of write my own. So probably that's how we ended up kind of here. But um I'm catching up on the chat. My wife, who is with me in the room, wants to pass on a message. Make sure you all hydrate. Okay, that's awesome. I literally feel terrible because I have one like old glass of water over there, and like I don't even. It looks gross. The rest of my iced coffee, and iced coffee is not hydrating. But yes, please get water. I do have water over there in case I need it. Um, bring back YA dystopia. We would make millions. I feel like the publishing industry, like Hollywood, is like missing how much like Gen Z, like particularly like want like more like nostalgic media, and like how I would support it, like, if we had like a resurgence. But like, yeah, of like 2012, 2014, like dystopian, it would be so fun. Um I don't know. I think my sister right now is writing basically a dystopian, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I haven't written in that genre though since I don't know, when was the last time Fostered was dystopian? Like 2017 maybe? But it was so fun. I mean, it's like the whole foundation of my writing. I mean, if you didn't like for me, it was funny because like I was writing a dystopian with a whole bunch of like political and social commentary, and I had like no idea what that political and social commentary was. But like I was trying, so it was kind of fun. Um, I didn't read a lot of YA dystopian back then either. Like I wasn't always like I've never really been a huge reader. Like I mean I did a lot of reading. It's just like I I struggle with reading like word books, like physical books. Audiobooks are a little bit easier, but also sometimes I can't like listen to books that much because I think if I engage too much with writing too much, it can be kind of hard to like process like sensorily for me. I don't know. It's strange. It's kind of might be weird, but like I finished Giovanni's Room. And that was an audiobook. And I finished it in January and I still haven't picked up another audiobook because I don't know, I just feel like not ready. Anyways, so I didn't read a lot either. I think the ones that I loved, Fostered is basically a The Darkest Minds ripoff by Alexandra Bracken. So that's fair. And then I don't know if I think this was a pretty popular series in the UK. Slated, I think, by Terry Terry. I loved those series. So those were like the two that I reread all the time. I don't think that there were other ones. I think those were the main two that I didn't even read like and then The Hunger Games, right? The Hunger Games. That's like that's the Bible to me. Anyways, that's the foundational things for anybody, I think. Um so that one was obviously inspirational too. I remember like watching a couple of the Divergent movies though. I never read the books and like stealing some of the scene ideas, so that's fair. Um Alyssa says I was into vampire books, the Market series, and Vampire Diaries. Oh, okay. I never read vampire books. I only read Twilight. I remember I loved Twilight. Twilight got me into reading like YA, I think. Um, yeah, I think so. I only read like the first two books, like two and a half. I read like half of Eclipse. But Twilight was iconic. I even read like, does anyone remember like Stephanie Meyer had like the PDF of like Midnight Sun on her website, I think. Now Midnight Sun is published. I have a copy of it. I don't like the actual published version of it. Anyway, I love that one. I think I read Midnight Sun like 2 or 3 times, like whatever she had written of it. Anyway, because I think I had always wanted to watch the Twilight movies, but like I didn't want to ask my parents to watch the Twilight movies because it was like years after the Twilight movies came out, so I'd have to ask them. And so I never like wanted to ask them. So I was like, it was like easier to read the books, I guess. I don't know. I definitely feel overstimulated when I finish books, so that's why I only get like 12 a year. Yeah, I'm happy other people feel this way because like there's like this Twitter thread right now that like I think a lot of people have seen it. I saw like somebody that I know from like a magazine commented on it. It was like about poetry, and I was like, so such an annoying take about poetry. And under that take, they were like people who were like disagreeing with them were kind of like they're like the same people who say that. Basically, it was kind of being annoying about like reading and like mocking writers who don't read. It was annoying. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it because it's annoying. Like the Twitter thread was very annoying. But I do read. I think it might sound like I read a lot less than I do. I just don't like I don't know. I can't read like 2 books a week or like even a book a week. I need time. Like my brain doesn't function in the way where I can mass read, and I don't like doing that anyway. I would rather like slowly read through something I really like. I also don't read things that I don't like. Like I can't finish something if I don't like it. The exception is with poetry because poetry is so short, and also like I love all poetry even in poems I don't like. Anyways, so um yeah, I can't stick through like it's why I don't buy that many books. I'm really lucky, like the TPL system's really like good. So I'm kind of able to check and see if I'll like something before I read it. Because I won't finish it otherwise, because I can't do that. It's like ugh. I know a lot of people can, I just can't. Um Oh, the big 3, Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent, except I didn't finish Divergent. Yeah, my sister read, like, the first 2 Divergent books, so I knew a little bit about it, and then, like, we watched the movies or whatever, well, the first 2 again. I never read The Maze Runner. I liked the movie, though, a lot as a teenager. Um, The Maze Runner is bad, but it's my hot mess, and I can fix her. I believe you, Pia. I've literally never read Hunger Games. Jade says, "Wow." Oh my gosh, I read The Hunger Games so much. My mom was like an OG like Hunger Games fan. So like for some reason she was like, "Oh, you should read this book," and I was like in grade 5. Mom, like that it was too scary. Like I couldn't read it. I did actually though read it. It might have been in grade 4 when she was like, "You should." I was like, "No." Anyways, it's so funny though. So she loved it. So that's why we had a copy. And I've read it. I remember the fastest time I read The Hunger Games. This is like autistic behavior like that. Like, hello, like, how did we miss this for so long? Because I would like time myself to see how fast I could read The Hunger Games, and like my fastest speed was like 6 hours, I think. I read The Hunger Games so many times. It was like before I had a Goodreads account though, so I don't know how many times, but I would read it like and then reread it and then reread it. I was looking for copies at the thrift store yesterday because I want to like bind. I saw somebody on Instagram like bound like all 3 of the books into one. I talked about this on another stream, and I want to do that. I just couldn't find Mockingjay, and I could only find the hardcovers, and I didn't want to take apart the hardcovers. I was lazy, so I was like, okay, next time I see the paperbacks. Um, Ooh, the Mortal Instruments. I never read. I had the books because I used to like kind of collect books. I didn't read them. Like I liked books a lot as a teenager, and like I guess they were like a collection, so that was their purpose. But so I had them. Well, me and my sister would kind of we share all our books. I never buy more. Like we don't have or we try not to have like 2 copies each of books. We just have one. So I had these books at one point, I think. But I think I ended up giving them to a friend whose sister really was excited about reading the books. So that was nice. I don't know how people read 200 plus books in a year either. I don't know. Maybe it's the books they're reading, but like I read short books, but like they're like kind of dense. So like maybe that's kind of makes up for. I don't know. That's I like books that I don't know are like kind of in like a either like are like super fun for me to read or like are challenging. Not challenging because that makes it sound bad, but like I don't know, like do something for me in terms of the writing. Um, And I like short books. I'm tired of people making me feel bad about like writing like or reading habits. I remember in school it was so annoying and like the way that it's like kind of like approached it seemed like it wasn't very helpful as a neurodivergent person like to hear people say like you need to read all the time to be a writer and I'm like no you don't and then I would tell people I don't really read and they would be shocked but I do it's like I usually read about 10 books a year Recently it's been higher because I've been reading a lot more poetry and like much shorter novels. Now that I've found that I really like shorter novels, I'm also reading a lot more. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially if you like if you're neurodivergent too. Like I am not gonna do that. I'm not gonna like force myself to read a whole bunch when I just can't. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My reading goal is 12, but I only managed 6.5 books last year. I think mine might be 5. I can't remember. The last 2 years, I think in 2022 I read 30 something books, like maybe 33, and then last year read like 24 or something like that. But they were like most of them were poetry. But this year I made a really small goal. I didn't want to like push myself too much, but usually mine is around 10 or 12 too. Um Ooh, I adapted part of Mockingjay for my illustration capstone comic. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I loved Mockingjay. I still remember reading it for the first time and like where I was reading certain parts. I was in grade 8, I think. Yeah, when I read Mockingjay for the first time. I think. Maybe I was younger. I can't remember. Last book I finished was months ago. I didn't read anything in February. I read 4 books in January, which is quite a lot. But they were really quick. I read the first 2 volumes of Heartstopper. I read a poetry collection, and I read something else. I can't remember. Maybe I was finishing. Oh, I just said it was Giovanni's Room I finished. And I was finishing that from December anyways. But February, I needed a break. That happens where like I'll read a lot in like 1 month, and then the next month I just can't. I just need to process. Okay. I have the audiobook of Morris. I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited to read it. Because I'm so excited, I've been putting it off. Pia says I read so much in January, but now I've been putting off starting Catching Fire because I know it'll take over my brain. I haven't read the Hunger Games books in years because I know that when I do, like it's gonna be intense. And that's what I feel like. I hate like the one-sided sort of like black and white conversations about reading because it like totally like diminishes that there are other people who have different ways of like, other people's brains work differently than yours. It just annoys me. I want to read more since it can help in writing, but I just struggle to sit still and read something unless it's fan fiction or something. Curse you, ADHD. Yeah, I feel that too, and I feel like the conversations about reading are so like isolating. Like as a neurodivergent person, I've always found it very annoying, and I think it's funny because like not to. Maybe this is like controversial. Maybe I'll get canceled for saying this, but like I remember people would be like in school, like they would be like, "Oh, you need to read a lot. You need to read a lot," and like those are the people who never wrote anything. Like that's so mean the way I said it, but like I also think that it's fine if you have a brain that works in a specific way and you have energy that like you have to put toward one thing, like you can't spread it across a million things. I think it's fine if you want to put more of your energy toward writing, if you're a writer and you want to do that. Because my hot take is I think the best way to get better at writing, I've said this on my channel, is to write a lot. Because I think there's also quite like a Western like European literary canon way of like looking at I don't know, like read a lot. Like it's not really like, okay, but what are you encouraging people to read? I don't think it's bad advice. I do think that reading is helpful. I just think that just giving it as a blanket statement without helping like telling people how like they can kind of customize it to be most helpful for how their brain works is not helpful. I heard it a lot, and then a lot of the time, I don't know. I just like to spend more time in my energy writing, and then what I'll do is I'll find particular books that like mean a lot to me, and those will like impact me. It almost feels like the level of like 10 books. People are so weird about reading a lot to be a good writer, and reading well is so different. Yeah, I think what matters more is reading well to be a good writer, and then reading also different things too, reading new things. I need to get better at that as well. Reading new things. So if you have recommendations for things in the chat, drop them in the chat. I'd love to find more recs. Currently I've been really into this is very specific, but like I've been currently into like short anything like short queer literature, like that's not that specific. I think we can find books actually, now that I think of it, in that category, because I've read written, I wish. I've read quite a few of them. Um, so if anybody has more recommendations for books that I haven't already um mentioned, because I've read quite a few that are really nice. Um Pia says, I also just enjoy reading because sometimes I unlock a new writing thing I can do since my brain works off examples. That's exactly how I kind of look at that reading too. I enjoy it not only for like sort of like storytelling and like, I don't know, having fun, but being able to kind of look at it like a writer, I think matters more than how much you write. And then I'm like, I don't know, I feel like the people who, again, mean, but I think I feel like the people who always preach that, I'm like, but how much are you writing though? Because I'm kind of curious. Because it's not, I don't think it's bad advice. It's just like, I don't know, I think that there's a more balanced way to approach it. And the people that don't have balance in it, I kind of side eye. Uh, um, yeah, that's me right now. That's me right now. I actually want to read something. Did I buy a book yesterday? No, I was about to, and then I didn't. I was at the thrift store yesterday, and I was going to read something that I didn't, but I have a couple things that I want to read. I was originally reading a lot of short stories because I was working on my short story collection, but the update is I don't think I'm doing that anymore. I have to write an email, but I don't think I'm doing that anymore. So that might be like a moot point now. It might be over. I don't know. We'll see. Um Did someone say Heartstopper? Yeah, I was just reading the volumes that like of the seasons that I have already watched. So I want to read like I think the next two probably correlate with season 2, I think. I don't want to read past that because I really like the show and I want to watch the show first. Because they're so the same. Like I'm very impressed by like how similar the adaptation is. Quite like one-to-one adaptation. Which is so cool. So I really enjoyed, it was so fun. It was like watching the show again. It was so, the source material is awesome. It's really fun. And the illustrations are amazing. So I have been meaning to read the third one. I just haven't, because I have had it. I've lost it many times from the library. But yeah, it's really fun. I don't really that read that many graphic novels. Um Oh yeah, I feel this too, Rylan. I also struggle to write while reading something. Yeah, sometimes I can't. Again, I think it's a processing thing for me too, and I don't think that like this sort of blanket advice ever like kind of like keeps in mind that again, like people's brains work differently. Sometimes like somebody might not be able to write and read simultaneously. Anyways, especially because I write a lot. I find it kind of it's hard to balance, right? I think I do have a good balance now though, because now I don't really care so much the amount I read. Oh yeah, 1 or 2 books a year, that's a lot. I feel like people are under, you know how long a book takes to write? Like sometimes I'm like, wow, that thing that took somebody 5 years to write, revise, send to an agent, get published traditionally or whatever, like I just read that whole thing in like 3 hours, you know. So sometimes it's nice to take longer with something or just read one thing, you know, because it did take the writer a while. Um, Hello. Okay, the updated. We are just talking about writing and reading. Now watching Kiki's Delivery Service. I think I watched Kiki's Delivery Service once, but maybe it was not the full thing because I don't know. Can't remember. My grandpa has always been really obsessed with Spirited Away, so like got my whole family into Spirited Away. Like, oh gosh, when I was a kid. So we've only ever really watched Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle because my grandpa loves those. My 80-something-year-old grandpa loves those movies, and I think wants to watch the new, I think there's a new movie, I think, from Studio Ghibli that came out a while ago. We were supposed to watch it together, but we never got around to it. Um, okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendations. I'm always looking for queer lit and queer poetry to read. Um, I'm neurospicy too, and I go through phases reading a lot with no writing and then writing a lot with no reading. Yeah, I think because like for me, like in my autism, like writing is so important. Like it's always going to take precedence. Like because writing is not just writing for me; it's also like part of a special interest that is always my priority. Um, and I find it hard to do. Like, wow, we jumped a lot of people. There was like 18 people here for a while. Now there's 29. Anyway, we're just talking about writing and reading, like I said. But anyways, so I find it hard to do both like a lot at the same time. So I kind of like interchange. It makes sense. In January, I wasn't writing that much. That makes sense as to why I was reading more. It's easier for me to switch off. Are you a chronological writer or an all over the place chaotic writer? I'm actually very chronological the way that I write, which is funny because that is the complete opposite to how I'm writing Lost Gods, which is this thing that I've been writing that I talked about. It's all in this notebook. Um, but I write. I've always been very chronological. I think it's also like a processing thing because I'm a pantser. Like I will very much struggle to like understand the what is the word I'm looking for? It's like a writing term that I can't remember. The like the what is it? Come on. Causal chain, the causality of something. If I don't go chronologically, I just can't get it, and that can also sometimes be a downfall. Like being so chronological, like very staunchly chronological, because oftentimes I'll write like the like in between scenes, like just like little linking scenes that don't really need to be there because I don't skip time as much as I should, is what I'm saying. Because I find it hard to process what happens between that skip time. That's just how I've always been, though. But we were talking about Lost Gods the last time. Remember, I was what was it? I was transcribing no words. It's Friday. Okay, I was transcribing what was in my notebook, and I've been writing that completely non-linearly. So right now, I put it on my computer. It's like 8,000 words, which is so much more than I thought it would ever be, and so it's all completely non-chronological. It's the only project of mine that's like that, and I kind of like it like that. I want to keep it that way. Okay, talking about Spirited Away. Spirited Away is so good. My siblings and I grew up watching Studio Ghibli movies. Yeah. Spirited Away was like a really big one. I think my family has watched that one like I don't know 30 times together. Like we watched it a lot. Um yeah, I remember bringing the DVD, like our DVD in once like for like as the movie to watch like but then it ended up sticking in the middle of it. It was so sad because everybody was like really invested. Yeah, it was sad. But I kind of I like to take credit for showing my class, which probably everybody already knew about it, but I felt special. Anyways, Pia says, now I'm getting the motivation to actually go pick up the book I said I was going to read like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's me. Like, I've been meaning very badly to pick up this audiobook that I've been meaning to listen to. I just haven't. Like I said, I'm still on Giovanni's Room. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still processing it. I want to reread it. I've been looking for copies secondhand, but I can't find one. I might just have to buy one new. Hello. Hi, Z Summers. I like your profile picture. That's cute. Sign says, my stories come in bits and pieces. I just can't write chronologically. Yeah, everybody's brain works differently. Like I said, I think my writing has always been very linked to how my brain functions. And so I really need like the step by step, especially because I don't outline because my brain doesn't work like that either. So yeah, the step by step helps. But I sometimes do write. I found in Seventh Virtue, I wrote a lot of like the in-between kind of scenes. Um okay, it's been 43 minutes. Let's let's write something. Um let's do 15 minutes. I will share my screen. And then I might want to, I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of anxious, so I'm hoping that writing helps. Oh, I froze. I hope I didn't freeze too long or that I didn't freeze at all, but looks like I froze. I think we're back though. Let me share this timer. Okay, the cute like sponsored timers on the side. We don't want to see those. And I'll see you on the other side of 15 minutes. Good luck because I'm going to need it. Okay, that was the end of the sprint. How did it go for you guys? I was on Tumblr. Not for the whole thing, but for a little bit of it. I did write. I don't know how much. Let me see. Let's find out. Did I? No, I thought I closed the document for a second. That would have been funny. Sick and tired of looking at you. I don't know. It's kind of lame. Let's see. Oh, I was scrolling up way too. I was scrolling up way too high. I barely wrote anything. Oh, okay. You know what? It looks less than it actually is. I wrote less than 200 words, like 191 words. I'll take it. I just don't want to write a party. I'm tired of writing parties. I wrote one single party in my life, and I'm good. You know what? I wrote all of Body Back. I'm good. I never have to write a party ever again. I think I did enough. Okay, we're getting some numbers. 276 from Mateo. 99 from Walmart Gremlin. I also love your profile picture. It's really cute. Sammy didn't write anything, which is so valid. I started the sprint on Tumblr. I didn't want to write either. Okay, 446 words. Climactic action scene. Okay, that's fun. Rylan wrote 126. Jade reread the doc, working in, wrote nothing at all. Listen, rereading is valid too. I kind of want to reread maybe next time because I don't remember what happened in the last chapter of Sunless Crown. I don't know. Like, I don't have a very good memory. It's kind of concerning. But it's only like when it comes to my writing. Everything else, fine. That's fine. But when it comes to my writing, I do not remember. I just wrote this like 2 weeks ago, maybe, and I have no idea what the chapter is about. I have no idea. Streams keep me off Tumblr. Okay, well that's awesome. Listen, it's a balance. I really I don't want to write today. I just don't feel like it. But also, I'm in the middle of like wanting to write and then also not wanting to. Does anybody else feel that way? I don't know why. Like, because I don't feel right when I'm not writing, but also I'm like, I don't want to do that today. Maybe I need to watch some movies. I haven't watched movies in a while. Maybe that'll fill the gap. Never want to write a party again, right? I'm happy you relate because I'm sick and tired. I am sick and tired of writing parties. I'm like, Harrison, you're killing me. And the thing is, like, there's a scene. But the good thing with Lost Gods is I don't have to write anything if I don't want to because it's so non-linear. I have though, because it takes place. I forget. Like, it takes place at the end of October 2005. So there's Halloween in the mix. So I wanted him to go to a Halloween party, but I don't think I can do it. Like, the amount of parties I had to write, I'm good. No. Reese wrote 204 words. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we everybody seems to have like written in like the 100 to 200 word range, which is awesome. I know we love Anna. Anna's so sweet. I'm not sure if she's still here, but it's nice to see her in the chat. Pia wrote 0 words. Okay, this is valid. Like, listen, chapter 1 of this book wants to kill me, and I want to kill Connor. Nobody wins. Listen, sometimes, like, chapter 1, to be fair, like, you asked me to write a book that isn't in Harrison's point of view, and I will not be able to finish the first chapter either. So, that's valid, I think. 161 words. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, everybody's in the range. Okay, that's awesome. Rylan, I get distracted reading chapters I wrote months ago and being, wow, I want to keep reading this book. This happens to me every single time because I don't remember what I wrote. So then I end up rediscovering it. I'm like, ooh, like, what are the twists, the turns? And obviously I remember, but like, I don't remember exactly usually. Like, remember while it's happening. Right now, if you ask me what scenes happened in chapter 12 of Sunless Crown, I would tell you I have no idea. I have no idea. Literally 0 idea. I was scrolling through it earlier today, so it's not fair because I kind of remember like one, but I don't remember. I don't remember the others. I have no idea. Like, what was in there? I got an email from a lit mag and thought it was like an acceptance, and then remembered I did not submit to this lit mag, and it's not an acceptance. It's just an email. Aaliyah says I wrote 2 words at first and was like, nope. real. But then it suddenly became 145. Okay, that's awesome. Um, the writers urged to kill off characters in the first chapter. Okay, listen. What are our thoughts on killing off characters? Because I was just talking about this because my sister and I are watching a TV show on Netflix, and one of like the fan favorites, like to me, died. And I always keep saying that I think my books would be so much better if I killed my characters, but I can't. I cannot kill my even characters I don't like. I can't kill them anymore. I remember when I was like a teenager, like it used to be like much easier because like I didn't care. But like now because like I've known the characters for so long, like in like the seventh virtue canon, like sorry to like throw Foster under the bus, but like he should die. Like canonically speaking, like he's the kind of character you would build up to die, you know? And like Lonan was also supposed to die, and he would be great if sorry, like not for him, but like for the book and the plot development, there are certain character deaths that would be like really, really awesome. But like I can't do it. I can't. I'm very like weak when it comes to like I can't do it. I can't do it. I just it would hurt me too much. Like even like random characters, I just can't do it anymore. But it never used to impact me. I like killed off all my major villains, like all the major characters, like yeah. But I brought them all back to life now. Any character who died is now alive, because I can. Like there, I have to. But like I said, it would be so good if I did. I just can't. I can't do it. Um, Ooh, okay. Are we getting excerpts? A spear of water that narrowly skins my cheek as I shove them with my winds. Their hood flies off. Long, disheveled blue hair flows out. And the enraged face of a woman looks back at me. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. That would be a great opening for something. I'm not sure if it's like in the middle of a scene, but it would be an awesome scene opener too. That is a great line. The enraged face of a woman looks back at me. Um, Pia says, "No, I'm being for real. The book opens with my main character getting killed." Okay. You are so much stronger than me. I can't. I can't. It would, I don't know. I'm like so attached to them now. But like I said, like I'm trying to think of like the main characters of Fostered. Like if it was still in Reeves' point of view, like yeah, Harrison's death would be great. It would be like so like plot wise perfect. Either like him or like Lonan would have to die and it would be perfect. But like I said, like Foster's kind of built as a character, like where you would kind of expect him to die, but like he's not going to. Like I can't do it. It just upsets me. I did make Reeve think for like a chapter that not a chapter, it was 70,000 words technically. In like 3 days in the timeline that Darren had died, but he didn't. So it was like, I just can't do it. I can't actually do it. Um Okay, this is so real. I got stuck trying to describe a car driving down a road. Sometimes I struggle with those like those little actions too. Um, oh, the car isn't that deep, but it's the first time the main character has seen a car in 7 years. Oh, that would be very exciting. Oh, that's very cool. Um, Sometimes a character needs to die so we know they can, and the plot has real stakes. Doesn't have to be the fan fave though. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. If you read any of my genre fiction, I can't. None of them will die. I can't do it. Oh man, I know there was literally like Lonan was canonically supposed to die. Like I have many different plot threads that were like built up toward that. I just can't. No. And then it didn't happen, and then it turned into literary fiction, and now he can't die. Immortalized. Immortalized in literary fiction. It's funny because I'm killing characters left and right in my stories, but in the past I refused to kill characters. Yeah, I used to be like that. I used to be opposite. Like I used to kill characters all the time because it wasn't that big of a deal. But now I can't. Even like the bad people who were supposed to die, I can't do it now. I can't do it now. um, it's fine though. Pia says because Connor comes back to life, which is the problem. She's about to make everyone's business. Yeah, I do. I do. Okay. To be fair, there is tea. That's like sitting around the campfire while we talk about Sunless Ground tea because I don't talk about the plot of these books because there's just so much of it. I'm very happy to spoil everything that happens. But in Seventh Virtue, this comes back to if I forget, this comes back to coming back to life because I think the coming back to life thing is really cool, Pia. And Seventh Virtue, I brought back one of Lonan's girlfriends. So Lonan is kind of like okay, like everybody dated him at one point in the book. So this is like his second relationship. I think. Yes. And so she was a character I thought a lot of people I don't know if anybody here would know or remember Glenn, but she was I'm gonna see if I can turn on this light if it's I don't think it's plugged in. Never mind. But Glenn was his girlfriend for a while, like from like book 4 to 6 when they like break up. And so I wanted to bring her back in because she's kind of important in Feeding Habits a little. Like she's adjacently important. She's just kind of like I don't know. She's not really there in Feeding Habits, but I don't know. I didn't really make her as important as she should have been. My bad. Anyways, but I was like in seventh virtue, I wanted to bring her back and make her more important. So I do, and so they kind of meet in between like the Harrison and Lonan breakup, and so that's nice. But then I basically he kills her in this book for a good reason, mostly because like she's not really like alive anymore. But basically, I'm bringing her back. So like she's coming back wrong. I think it's gonna be very fun to like psychologically torture him with that fact. Anyways, so that's kind of been her vibe, but I'm excited to like write with her again, but it's not really going to be with her cuz it's not going to be the same. She's not she's not the same person because it's not really her cuz she died. Anyways, that's some sunless guarantee. Sorry, Lonan, hurting his feelings. That's basically how I come up with plot. How can I hurt Lonan's feelings? um Rylan says, I always want to kill characters, but then I can't because I can see the potential they have for the narrative and basically always decide that's more interesting. I think like literary fiction like made me not like want to kill any of my characters. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, well, what if I need Foster like 3 books from now? Also, I can't kill him. Like he's been my child for like 10 years. I could never do that. I can fake their deaths. That's fine. But I can't actually do it. It hurts me. This is me. This is so mean. Yeah. If would it be impactful if Piedad died and keep staring? Yes, but no, right? Like you can't do it. Well, I mean, I would support you if you did, but like it would hurt. I used to kill characters all the time, but now I'm like, death is too easy. If they stay alive, I can put them through plot. That's me. That's me. I mean, if Harrison died, we wouldn't have all of these books, so like him staying alive is kind of a good thing like for my writing career, so I think I'm gonna keep him around for a little. Torturing characters is greater than killing them. That's fine, that's fun. I think because like I've known my cast for so long, I'm just like more attached to like keeping them around. I could never. It would be too hard, I think, to not be able to like write with them again. Well, even if it was like in like the Seventh Virtue world, which isn't actually canon, it would like hurt my feelings. Uh, Sammy says honestly, I kill off Sam, but it's okay. He's a god. He always comes back. Oh, I should say that. Yeah, that's true. I have killed Lonan many times, and I've basically killed Harrison many times. But the thing is, like, they just don't die. Lonan is immortal. He can't die. Well, to his knowledge, there's actually tea on that, but that'll come later. I think this current work in progress alone, I've killed 6 people, and 4 of them were the main 2 characters' parents. And then another was main character's evil brother. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Like, yeah, even with the evil people, like, I can't do it. It hurts my feelings. Lonan and Connor should hang out. Yeah, I feel like Lonan would surprisingly like have a lot like in common with a lot of your characters. Like I don't see him as a very social person because mostly he just like kind of sits and stares at things, which is like really a valid way to like move through life. But, but then sometimes I'm like, no, I think he could actually find like a friend group, and honestly, Pia, I think his friend group would be your character, not Harrison. But that would be fun. I haven't written like properly with him in a while. I mean, I wrote with him yesterday, but like he's only like now starting to like kind of come back to himself. He hasn't been like in his I don't know, he has been quite disconnected as a character, like purposefully. Like so it's not that I've been doing it unintentionally, but like I'm kind of excited to write him when he's kind of does anybody else have that when he's like kind of back more connected to himself with characters who like go through something and they're kind of distant so it doesn't really feel like you're writing with them. Anyways. Ooh, I want a coffee. That's a good idea. I'll get a coffee after this. Anyways, I kind of want to look at Lost Gods. I think it's crazy to me that so much of it like just exists like in my handwriting. I think it's really, really nice. I literally said I was gonna post an excerpt on Tumblr and then I didn't. I'm evil. It's because I decided to be extra and like make a whole aesthetic like to go along with it. And then I got picky about it. It took a while, and now like I'm now only looking at which I want to post. It'll come eventually. I'll post it eventually. Because I don't post a lot of Lost Gods like on my main account. Um in another work in progress, I have one of my main characters was going through an edgy phase, and I was so relieved when I was done with it. Yeah. Oh gosh. That's like it was so funny because I was talking to my sister about Lost Gods and like about Body Back or whatever, and she loves Harrison. Like Harrison has been like her favorite character since he existed, right? But I told her like the plans for those books. Like she hasn't finished Body Back yet. And obviously like nobody else except me and like, you know, the internet have read Lost Gods, like a couple people on the internet. And so I told her, I was telling her about like sort of the ideas and like kind of how it was gonna go or whatever. She's like, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy that at all. Like, and that's like that was like me. That was like me preparing myself to write certain things with Harrison. It's like this is gonna be so miserable, but like in a fun way, but just like miserable at the same time. Especially with him. He's quite like, I don't know. He's a miserable person sometimes. Which is fine. It's just like sometimes hard to write. Um this is me like in my older books too. People were dying all the time. I can't do it anymore. But cannibalism, I see. Wow, I've never written a cannibalism. um maybe adjacently, perhaps, maybe at one point, but um I love this comment. Cannibalism, cool. um okay, maybe we can do, let's do one more sprint. Maybe, do we want to write? Let me see. Oh, I just remembered that I have to write something and I don't want to, but I kind of, can I write something else? Maybe I'll work on this thing that I'm working on for like the work thing that I was mentioning. Maybe I'll work on that instead because I don't want to write some script. So maybe I'll do that in 15 minutes and see how that kind of comes out. I'm scripting a class, which is quite fun, but it's a lot of thinking and a lot of writing. Um, no, Aaliyah says no, not really to writing. That's very valid. I will continue to talk for a bit. I'm in this point. Did I mention this before in my book? I think also why like I'm like resistant to like keep writing is because like I know that I like left Heron behind in narrative. Like I abandoned him in the narrative for a little bit because I really didn't want to write his chapter. And it's a certain like the certain like kind of area he's in like in the book. I actually don't need to write it chronologically because like nothing in Reeves' point of view, like nothing in the book that actually is moving forward, like in the plot, actually needs him there. So like it doesn't really matter for the next little bit if I don't write it. So I kind of just ended off in the middle of a chapter. And I feel like my brain is like telling me, you need to go back and finish it. But I'm so lazy. I don't. Okay. Sunless Round is like my fun project. So like sometimes I just don't know. I don't want to put that much effort into it. And it feels like effort right now. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm still excited to write it. Anyways, let me let me share my screen and I'll work on Lost Gods maybe. How do I reset this? And then this will be like the last one. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, and that was the end of that sprint. How did that go? Okay, well, this kind of went not the way I oh wow. That's a lot of words. I originally I wasn't really writing because I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I was kind of thinking I don't really have like any kind of existing ideas for Lost Gods at the moment. Um but I wanted to write something in this voice. So I did. What I ended up doing was in the middle of it, you all know I always talk about cleanness on this stream. I just pulled it out and I just scrolled through it until I found something, and then I read like a paragraph, and yeah, that pretty much fixed everything. It was quite inspirational for a scene that I think needs to happen after one that I've already written. But again, it's a kind of like non-chronological, so I'm not really sure if it needs to happen there or if it can kind of slot in somewhere else. But it would make sense to go there between this artist and between Harrison, and I think it's good. I wrote like 2.5 pages. I don't know how many words. It's probably 200 just from the looks of it. Maybe not 200, 150. But yeah, that's nice. Um, I wrote by hand. Let me write the date on it. Let's see, March 8th. I try to date things when I can. I've been forgetting, but when I was a teenager, I used to like really like every single drawing that I would make in my sketchbook, I would date it like the exact date. Um, and then I kind of like fell off on that. So when in this notebook, I haven't gotten every single date in here, but I have some of the dates. So I'll have like an understanding like 5 years from now. Um, what time I was kind of writing everything that's in here. So I like having a physical notebook. I really have been enjoying writing by hand. I now notice that I thought there was like an impact on my prose, like that my writing was like thinner when I write by hand, but I don't think it's necessarily thinner. I just think it's like there's less room to like backspace, right? Because most of the time it's just sort of how the thoughts come out, which is kind of nice. And I've found that since I've like been less perfectionistic about my writing in the last couple of years anyway, that what I write by hand and then what I write on the computer, they don't look all that different because I don't like, chronically like over revise anymore. Ooh, 402 words. Wow, you've written like nearly 1,000 words on the stream. That's awesome. Good for you. 77. I wish I knew how much I wrote exactly. I'll find out later. I think I'm gonna try to transcribe this immediately though, because I think it would be nice to have everything in a document. Because usually I just like leave them in the notebook for a bit. I had to deal with my cat having the zoomies and almost knocking things over. Oh no! Oh, but that's cute. I have my one dog now, but he's quite big. So when he has the zoomies, like he just kind of runs around. He doesn't really cause. You'd think he would cause damage because he's quite big, but like he's not big. He's just kind of top heavy. And so yeah, he doesn't surprisingly. But you know who did? My dog, my other dog, who passed in May of last year. She would run around everywhere, wreak havoc. It was fun though. 226 words for Celia. That's awesome. 384 for Rylan. Finally got my characters to an action sequence. Oh, yay. Oh, that's fun. Do you guys like writing action? I can't do it. I'm not very good at it anymore. I think I used to be better at it. 237 for Walmart Gremlin. It's Anthony and Charlie's introduction. I stopped writing for a bit to get some ibuprofen, which is valid. 28 words. Listen, that is like way more than you had before. That's great. 28 words is better than 0. It's what I was trying to remind myself when I was trying to write something, because I was like, I don't know what to write. But then I was like, let me see. And then do you ever have this? I think my writing process is kind of abstract in this way where I'll like have a sense, like a hear or something, like, but it's quite like an abstract kind of a line kind of come together. And that's how I know, oh yeah, I'm ready to write a scene, because like a line will kind of materialize in my head. But yeah, I love this notebook. It's like it looks like a book. It's so cool. I love it. It's really nice. I think I have another one of it too. So I've surprisingly, I wasn't sure I would like it, because typically now we're just learning about my notebook preferences, but typically I usually use notebooks that like the coils, the coiled ones, because I like to tear pages out. Or like I like to know that I have that ability. But and also they're like easier to lay flat. But this one's very nice. Don't personally mind writing action, but I do worry if I even do action well. Yeah, I feel that I don't love it anymore. I think it depends on the action, but I just think in like bigger choreographed scenes, they're just tougher for me to write. I just think I'm out of practice with them, to be honest, though, because I used to write a lot more action, and that was fine. Um, yeah, but now I don't so much anymore. But did I tell you? You can see it right there. Speaking of paper and writing by hand, I made some paper. I don't know if I can actually write on it. I have to test it, but it's there. I made it out of egg cartons. I didn't use my blender because I didn't want to use my blender for it. They recommend having two separate blenders if you're gonna make paper at home. So I kind of just did it by hand. So it's not like the most smooth paper. So I actually don't know really if I can write on it. I think so, depending on the type of pen. If I get like a more like inky pen, it should be fine, or like a Sharpie, it should be fine. But I kind of want to write some Lost Gods on it and see and like just make a little notebook out of it. It's quite fragile. But it's that all that stuff sitting right there, the gray paper. Pia says the only action scene I've enjoyed writing was the scene pointed north where Malcolm and Adam get attacked because it's got PGO still. You were doing. I think did I read that? I think I read part of that. And if it is that one, I did like that scene. Yeah, and I think when there's humor in the action, yes, it goes by a lot faster. But when the action is like serious, like I struggle to write it now. But anyways, so now I'm trying to think of like what I'm gonna do about writing going forward. Because I feel off when I'm not writing, but like I don't have a calling to write it's on this ground right now. I'm kind of bored. I was talking to my sister about it too, because usually we'll like go on walks together and like brainstorm like our books together. And we had nothing to talk about because like we had already talked about everything. Like I need to come up with a subplot or something. I think that would be fun. Rylan says I love writing action scenes. I think it's the thing I'm best at. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm envious. I wish I could write more action scenes. What's the best type of scene I think I'm good at writing like deeply internal, like contemplative narrative. Like, yeah, that's probably my favorite. That I'm kind of shine at. I don't know. Jade says I have such strong notebook preferences, lay flat binding and removable pages and nice fancy smooth paper. Oh, that's nice. I've never been like a huge notebook person. Like I know that like most writers are like huge notebook people, and I've never been much of a notebook person because I don't write that much in notebooks. So but what's nice is one of my aunts always gets me notebooks, and now I'm using them like crazy because like I've been writing by hand. So I got into writing by hand because I wanted to write when I was in class. And I didn't want to like it was I'm not going to say it was bad, but I didn't want to look like I was like not paying attention. So I would write a lot by hand, and so it kind of got me back into it, and I was like I think I kind of like this. And I've been really enjoying it as kind of like a ritual. It's quite like it's stress relief, I think, to write by hand for some reason now, or even to write on my notes app. I think because like I worked so hard on like these like the series of novellas, right? I don't want to take the same approach, and so it feels nicer to do things that just are kind of they feel smaller, like the session feels smaller. I don't want to write like I don't know if I would feel good necessarily if I wrote like 2,000 words of Lost Gods in a day. I think it feels better to write less. Um, I do think I read it. I think I think I did read that. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, was it the one after the concert? There was a concert, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I think my best scenes is an introspective and emotional scenes. Okay, right? Also love dialogue. Okay. I think I used to be better at dialogue. It's not like I dislike dialogue. I don't know if I like have strong opinions on it anymore, but the introspective moments, like especially like intimate, like sort of introspective moments between characters, I think are my favorite. I think like especially reflections. I read a lot of that kind of style, like in Harrison's point of view, because he has a lot of regrets. So he's always thinking about all the things that could have happened. Which is why I love him as a narrator. Oh yay, I'm right. Okay, I'm happy. I was like, I think I read that. Because I remember. Okay, yay, okay, I wasn't wrong. Oh, okay. Stories by Desiree says I collect notebooks. I used to write in them all the time in high school, but that moment when I got to college. I'm slowly getting back to it now. Oh, yay. That's nice. I think what happened for me was almost the opposite. I used to write by hand a lot when I was in high school because, well, not at home. I would write again. I used to write a lot in class. Listen, I graduated top of my class both in high school and university. Like, hey, I don't know what I did, but somehow the process worked. It could be that like I think I focus better when I'm doing other things. Like I don't know. So maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. But anyway, so when I was in high school, I used to write a lot by hand, like during class, like when I was supposed to be taking notes in English class, I would write. That's what I did all through university too. Anyways, um, but now I'm kind of getting back into it because I'm kind of sick and tired of the computer. Like, though for certain stories, like I was writing Sunless Ground by hand because I was in the car yesterday, and for me, like I don't want my phone to die, so like I will just if I can bring my notebook with me, I don't mind writing by hand. But it wasn't very fun to write by hand. I didn't really enjoy writing it by hand, even though I wrote a lot of Seventh Virtue by hand because that's what I was working on when I was writing in class last year. I think it's more fun to write like kind of slower little moments by hand for me. That's kind of my favorite thing to write by hand. I have so many notebooks. It's not even funny because autism takes over and I see notebooks and I buy. I love that. I've always loved when people like really love notebooks. I've never like collected them really. Um, but I've always wanted to like I think maybe it's like the sticker thing for me. Like I don't use stickers because like I'm scared of using stickers. That's how I feel about notebooks. So I just don't buy that many or I have a lot. So I think I'm set for notebooks for like the rest of my life. Um because when you're a writer, like people will gift you notebooks. And I welcome it now because I write a lot by hand now. I just like this one. It's just so pretty because it's like it's got a Monet painting on it. I think you could get these at the dollar store in Canada. Um but they're so nice. It's got a Monet painting on it. Like, hello, like this is so like Harrison Court. You have this. Like, um, for dialogue, I love theatrical or poetic lines that don't exactly sound realistic, but I never know if the effect translates well or if it sounds verbose. I have the same thing with dialogue. I think like the solution is write literary fiction because you can have characters talking around a point in literary fiction. It doesn't have to make sense at all. It's just like that's just the dialogue, or like write Hannibal because the dialogue in Hannibal like makes no sense. Love it very much, but it makes no sense. So those are my two options. Um, write literary fiction or write Hannibal. But anyways, this was a really fun stream. If we want to kind of end it by, you can share kind of what you're working on. If you want to share something you wrote, if you want to share what you're gonna do this weekend, I'm gonna wind down soon. Just as a heads up, because Guyanese people take 20 years to say goodbye. So I don't have anything to share. Like I said I was gonna share something on for Lost Gods, and then I forgot that like I think I mentioned the last stream. Like I forgot that like Lost Gods is like the most unshareable project on the internet because I cannot share most of it. Like it is not. No, I cannot share. I'm not putting that on the internet. um so I was like there was really like two excerpts I could pick from like 8,000 words, but anyway, I'll try to find something. Oh yay, okay, we're getting some action excerpts from Pia. Oh, okay. Oh, I already see Adam's dialogue, and I'm like, I need to take a second. Um, do that, and I'll bite open his throat. Oh my god, ladies, please, Adam said, voice a little strained from the way Pink Hair was holding him. Yes, I remember this. I'm sure we can come to an agreement where no one gets hurt. I love him. I love him so much. My toxic trait is that I would do anything for Adam. Like, yeah, I have so many things to say that I will not put out on the internet about Adam. But I love him as a character so much. He's great. He's got like I don't know. He's like Harrison, like the Harrison kind of dialogue, but like Lonen's intensity. That's why I love Adam. He's so cool. Oh, okay. We're getting some like plotting ideas from Walmart Gremlin. I hear songs and make up random plots. The song Cabinet Man by Lemon Demon sounds like a Midwestern gothic cryptic haunted town with murders in a crab ton or crab. Either way, I will take it. Of secrets, death, gore, and others. That is so cool that you can just like listen to music and think of plot. I'm so jealous of writers who can listen to music and write. I think because like I don't know what it is with me, but like I think like music is like so. I mean, I've always music is really important to like my family, so I've always been like in a musical family, and then also like I'm musical too. And I think because of that, and then because of like my brain and how it works, when I listen to music, I can't think of anything. All I can do is like pull apart the song. So I'll like dissect the song. I'm sure other people do that too. Um, but I wish I could just like sit down and listen to a song and like brainstorm my book. I just can't because what ends up happening is I'm like, I really like that bass line. Like, oh my God. I wish I could turn it off sometimes. It's useful as like a guitarist, not useful for when I want to brainstorm my book. Ooh, we're getting more excerpts. Um, I love thank you for the giving me a pronunciation guide. I appreciate it. I looked down into my hand at the jewel of Surfer. I think you gave me the pronunciation guide, and I'm still unsure of myself. Seeing it glow in the torrent of the power it gave me. So this was the power of a hex. I love the last lines. Every single last line that you share, like wherever you like cut off the excerpt, it's always so good. Like that when you share them in these streams, like the writing has like a certain like confidence in the voice that makes it like so like addictive. Like I would immediately read on to like the next paragraph or chapter. I love your style. It's great. Okay, here we have Walmart Gremlin is sharing an excerpt. Anthony slid down the great oak and landed on the ground with a grunt, stretching out his wings and putting his hood up. He set his bag down. He quickly unbuttoned it and took out a small notebook. Oh, love it. Love it. That's great. Okay, we were just talking about notebooks. Hello. This is so apt. Oh, that's great. Oh, stretching out his wings and putting his hood up. There's like the image there is so nice. You literally can see that whole thing happening. Ooh, Celia says, I'm obsessed right now with notebooks that have grid lines and graph paper. Ooh, I've always wanted to try like the non sort of like the non like line, you know, line notebook, like the ones with the lines on it. I've always wanted to try the dotted ones or like, yeah, like the grid notebooks. Is that what a grid note? I don't know. Or the graph paper. I've never tried like actually writing on graph paper. I might have written on graph paper when I was in math class. Actually, I might have a whole bunch of leftover graph paper. I can make notebooks out of them because I bookbind now. Um, you've seen some of my books on the stream that I've made of my own books. So it'd be nice to make some notebooks myself. Adam's only mode is intense. Okay, we love him for it. We love him for it. He would fit so well in with all my characters. Like he has the we should shove him into the foster universe. He has like the archetype, I think. Perfect. For kind of like the core characters. Um, I've written a fun scene with a lot of tension where two characters were playing Russian roulette, and one of my main characters literally pulled out reverse Russian roulette, 1 out of 6 chances of surviving. That's so intense. Oh gosh, those kind of like those games, like the chance games that are like deadly, scary. um my brain zooms too much. I need music to work well, but I also just can't come up with story ideas for the most random things. I've never been like a story idea person, so that is so fascinating to me. I love hearing how other people kind of work. I think like again, my brain is so rigid. I only ever really think about like the same like 5 characters in like the same like 2 steps of each other. I don't know if that makes sense. Um I think we have I want to make sure. Oh, okay, I think we have more from Walmart Gremlin. I was like, I don't want to miss anything. Um, looking back up at the tree and taking out a pen from his pocket. Okay, winds are all good. No sign of them yet, he thought as he wrote in the notebook. Charlie's going to need this. Better get it back to her ASAP. He stuffed the notebook back in the bag and slung it over his shoulder. Looking back at the great oak, he began the trek back. He began the trek back to hit the house. The cloud-covered moon gave off little light as the crickets chirped loudly. Oh, those are such nice setting details. Anthony's boots squelched in the mud as he approached the house, walking up the steps. Nice. Thank you for sharing. I love reading all your excerpts. These are so cool. Oh, we have another one from Stories by Desiree. What Jay and Kita, I hope I'm saying that right, didn't know is that when you text at the same time, it enters you into another dimension. This dimension is known as the trying to do a play on words of Twilight Zone. That is so cool. Um, I love like the air of like mystery there. It enters you into another dimension. Like I would read on immediately. Everybody has such different styles and ideas, and like I think it's so inspiring. Now that I'm not in workshop, I don't really read the work of other people that often, like besides like ever so often on Tumblr. So it's just I love these like live streams where we can share our work. Um, okay, we have an excerpt here. Otherwise, there was always the final solution. Not all flesh that is consumed is lost forever. They would try to honor him as they do every time. Belchior, I hope I'm saying right, had already wondered many times since their meeting what taste he would have for his puck. Oh, here we go. They would play music for him when the time approached to slaughter him, to assure him that his passage into the afterlife would be spiritual, to make him forget the body that he would then abandon. Oh, love it. Love it. Oh, and then I think we have another excerpt from Walmart Gremlin, a continuation. Walking up the steps and onto the porch, he took the key out of his pocket and unlocked the door, pushing the door open and walking inside. Charlie Anthony called out, taking off his boots. Ooh. Oh, I think we have the rest of this excerpt here. So this was the first half, and then we have which would fall flatly to the ground like a swarming remains of animals. Ooh, that's a great image too. Oh, nice. Thank you for sharing. And then Tierra is sharing some writing here, which I'll read. Here's a piece from my BG3 fanfic Blood Mention, by the way. Okay, thank you. Eva barely knew her mother. The memory of her had been lost to time, but she remembered vividly the last time she saw her. She was 12 years old, and her mother laid at her feet in a pool of her own blood. I literally thought I was going to say in a pool, and I was like, yay, that's so relaxing. And then I like read the rest of the image. She couldn't remember doing it, but she held the knife and she wore her mother's blood. Ooh, that's a great line. That is a great line. Then she ran and she fought the urge ever since. Oh, that's great. That's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing the tension. I gotta find something now to read. Oh, let me read the rest here. We have some more excerpts. Or Belchior, which again, I hope I'm not saying wrong, would simply ask him his preferences, what arrangements could be put in place to accommodate his final wishes, whether he wished to make his soul whether he wished to make his death a performance, a spectacle for the temple of his soul, a final reflection of the life that he had led. Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing. And we have some writing from Stein too. I saw pictures of her in your house. I came to see if you were okay. You hadn't been at school. Terry let me in, but told me you were out. I wonder why you don't want guests. It's too small, you say, not enough room. Perhaps it's too close, too intimate, only reserved for the closest souls. Ooh, nice. Oh, that's great. I feel like everybody is writing so well in the chat. Thank you for sharing these excerpts. There's like so much like I think like tension in all of these excerpts that I'm reading today. I wish I had something sort of in the vein. I don't know. We'll see. Let me look through. Let's see if there's anything I can share on the internet from Lost Gods. Nope. Okay. This is so funny. No, I can't share that. Can't share that either. Okay, I think. Let's see. Maybe this one. Oh, this is nice. This is a little romantic. Let's see. Well, romantic in the sense that Harrison wants it to happen, not that it has actually happened. Let's see. Let me just read it. I'm not gonna mention the first bit because that would need a content warning. Let's see if I can like let me see if I can adjust it. Let me just read it from the middle. This might not make any sense. I'll add context after. This is from Lost Gods. I think I shared this on my side blog at one point. Maybe that's what he wants, to feel beautiful again if he was ever lucky enough to know what beauty's ever felt like, to see himself in a mirror through the eyes of a more forgiving man who looks past his precarious eye contact, the scars trotting into his hairline like felled dominoes. And perhaps many people crave what he does, a desire to be beautiful to others, but also himself, a search for approval that makes him understand flowers. Why would something make itself beautiful knowing it'll die? If he were a poet, he'd say there's something to that, and maybe that's what he needs, to meet a poet who writes sestinas about how he breathes at night. He'd like to have a love poem written about him once. He'd like very much for a man to settle him against his chest and very gently, like detangling a necklace, comb through his hair. I think I shared that on Tumblr at some point. I think that's a cute excerpt. I love the part where Harrison's like, I want someone to write a sestina about me, because if you don't know anything about sestinas, I'm going to talk about sestinas for a second because I love sestinas. If you're like, what the hell is a sestina? A sestina is a really cool like type of like form poetry where I don't want to explain all the rules, but basically, like, you have a set of words, and from those words, those are they called tulitons? I can't remember exactly what the words are called, but basically, the words. I don't remember how many there are. Let's say there's 5. It's been like a year and a half since I learned about these. They repeat throughout like the poem. So let's say you have like dogs at the end of like stanza 1. Dogs is gonna like start the next stanza. It's really cool. Anyway, it's a type of like sort of like repetitive poem, which is nice. And I wrote one about myself and my sister for a class. It's a really great form. What I'm saying is it's very labor intensive, and a lot of people find sestinas almost like impossible to write. So I think that's nice that Harrison's like, I want somebody to write a sestina about me. Like, okay, the audacity. No one's gonna do that. Okay, I will. I'll do it. Now I want to write a sestina about Harrison. Fine, I'll do it. Fine. When I want to write a poem next, maybe I'll write the sestina. See, I feel like he's not a real person, but like if he was, we can be friends. Fine. Like I'll write the sestina about you. I'm gonna catch up on comments. Um Ashley? Is this my friend Ashley or another Ashley? I mean, all Ashleys are my friend, but hello. um, Let me see. Oh, Pia left an excerpt. They looked at each other in the mirror. Pia Dad's eyes were greener again, and fatigue had sanded her edges. She touched the bridge of her nose as if in response to the crook of Adam's own nose bridge. I'm dying. That is so cute. That is so cute. The detangling necklace line. Yeah, oh my gosh. I absolutely love this. First of all, let's talk about this. This is so good. I think there's something so beautiful in like, especially like characters that I love when there's like a couple and then like you can kind of mirror an action. It's beautiful. Anyways, I think you were referring to my detangling necklace line. It might maybe yours. Do you have a detangling necklace line? I feel like you had a necklace line, but I can't remember. That was like Sunstar's necklace line. Anyways, that one, I think I stole this from Lonin. Like I can't remember. I was trying to think of something that would seem like when I was writing it, I was like, what's something kind of delicate that somebody could do that's like still untangling something? And originally I was like untangling TV cords, but like that doesn't sound very romantic. To some people, to me, that would be very romantic, but to Harrison, probably not. So I think I have an image like that from Hallowed Bodies. I can't remember. Whenever I steal something from myself and it's within this like literary fiction canon, I'm like, hey, it's an Easter egg. That's how I kind of get with it. Anyway. Um Hi. Thank you for being here. We were literally like ending the stream, but now we have to keep going because Ashley's here. Thank you. I think my hair looks very nice like this. I'm gonna keep it like this, I think, just like maintain it. Um Oh, okay. Sammy has an excerpt. The air was thin, and I could hardly breathe upon finding my mother in front of me, alive. Ooh, did I miss something? I did miss these. Okay. My eyes were deceiving me, depriving me of any happiness standing before me, her body on the gravel of the front porch, barely hanging on to her breath as her eyes fluttered slightly. I don't remember how she got here, but she seemed to be real the moment I touched her skin to lift her off the ground, carefully placing her upwards so she could hold herself upright. Then this one. The air was thin and I could hardly breathe upon finding my mother in front of me alive. Then Sammy says, this is from my other work I wrote a while back and actually like called Sun Gods. That's a great title. I love that. It's beautiful. Thank you. That's very nice. I'm kind of like lucky now. I think it's been like 10 years, so now I just kind of like write, and this is just kind of like how my first drafts are. That was the first draft, I think. Yeah, I was. I think it was somewhere in my notebook. So I'm kind of lucky now. It's just kind of part of it. But what I'm saying is like it just over time is what happened. I don't do it intentionally. um Ashley says, by the way, I am Harrison. So you are friends with Harrison. Well, I think we have to compete for who's Harrison now because I think as I've gotten older, unfortunately, you're right. You are him. Like lots of him comes. I'm sorry. Like that's the good parts of Ashley, I should say, is where Harrison comes from originally. You've always been him. That since we were like kids, um, the major parts of his personality are from you. But now I think we are like fighting to the death, unfortunately. Um, I think in the ways that me and you are the same, like that's how we're the same to Harrison. Ignoring all his flaws. We have none of his flaws. Don't worry about it. um yes, I think I think this is what I was talking about, Pia. I remembered something with a necklace. Between the two of them. Um Oh, okay. Beneath the collar were more stars, a necklace against her collarbone, stainless steel fake diamonds. It was a match set with her earrings, six-pointed stainless steel studs. I knew I remembered a necklace line. Oh, that's beautiful. I love jewelry descriptions. That's gorgeous. Hello, Harrison. I'm more of a Lonan kind of person. I love dividing my fans by like who likes Harrison, who likes Lonan, who hates them both, and like loves Reeve the most. Like I think those are the three camps that I usually have is like someone really loves Harrison, someone really loves Lonan, and then someone doesn't care for either of them and like really loves Reeve, which I think is like very valid as well. I am him, he is me. Yeah, this is how I feel. I cut my hair like to kind of look like his hair. This is how his hair looks. My hair grows fast, so like now it's kind of like a little longer, maybe than his hair, but it on like just the bottom. His hair is longer than mine, I think, on the top, but in the project I'm currently working on, we kind of have the same hair. So you have to cut your hair now, Ashley, is what I'm saying. Um, okay, we love this. I just saw like he hates his dad. I'm like, I have to see the rest of the note. Anthony and Charlie are twins. Anthony dyed his hair because he looked too much like his dad. That is dyeing your hair. That's fair. um Honestly, I might. Imagine if we had like the same haircut. What would the world do with us? They can't take us apart. The Rich Ashley power would be too high, I think, if we had the same haircut. Um Anyways, so I think we're gonna kind of wind down there. I hope that everybody had a good time. I have to finish the script today because I kind of want to make the PowerPoint today for this thing. Triplets, I guess. Let's leave Sarah out of the equation and like bring Harrison in. um I'm a lesbian yet I'm so invested in the relationship, but if I had to choose Reeve all the way, yeah, honestly, she's the best. She's so pretty. Like, and she's so like intense that like she's also my favorite, I think. I mean, Harrison is hard for me to like. He's my favorite, but Reeve would beat him, I think. If he keeps being annoying, which he is, Reeve is my favorite too. Um Okay, well, thank you for all your input and thank you for attending. I will see you probably hopefully sometime next week. I don't know how next week's gonna look for me. I might be stressed. So we'll kind of see, but keep updated with me elsewhere. But thanks so much, guys. I'm gonna sit here while the stream kind of awkwardly ends, as usual. I will see you guys hopefully soon. And have a nice weekend because I think it's Friday. It is. I'll see you. Have a nice weekend. Okay, bye, guys.